But I do have to say that Donald Trump is under attack for a couple of remarks he made about the news media. The NBC ran a story saying, it's part of this whole thing. Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, called him a moron, they say, and he says that's not true. Tillerson hasn't quite denied it. He kind of denied it late and all this stuff. You know, there's two big guys. I'm sure they call each other all kinds of things, but who cares? But Trump made this remark about NBC because NBC had a report that he wanted 10-time increase in our nuclear arsenal. And apparently he denies this, Mattis denies it, and Trump said this about NBC.
I never discussed increasing it. I want it in perfect shape. That was just fake news by NBC, which gives a lot of fake news lately. No, I never discussed. I think somebody said I want 10 times the nuclear weapons that we have right now. Right now we have so many nuclear weapons. I want them in perfect condition, perfect shape. That's the only thing I've ever discussed. General Mattis put out a statement, or is putting out a statement, saying that that was fake news, that it was just mentioned that way. And it's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write. And people should look into it.
So he doubled down on this. He put out a tweet that said network news has become so partisan, distorted, and fake that licenses must be challenged and, if appropriate, revoked, not fair to the public. You know, I completely oppose this, although I have to say sometimes when I watch the late night comedians, I do think, why are they allowed to use the public airways to just air their political views and there's nobody else on there? The FCC doesn't license the networks. The FCC licenses local outlets, I believe. So if they were revoking things, they'd have to be revoking them one at a time. I'm basically completely and entirely against this, and I think that I don't really worry as much about what Trump says. I know it's kind of a weird way to treat the president, but he does go off. He mouths off all the time, and half the time it doesn't mean anything. But, you know, it was really interesting to me that Rush Limbaugh, who is, of course, the Mac Daddy of all right-wing commentators, and deserves to be because he is just so very, very good at what he does. But he came out, and he's a big, big NFL fan, but he came out and said he was a little worried listening to Trump flog the NFL. Here's what Rush said.
There's a part of this story that's starting to make me nervous, and it's this. I am very uncomfortable with the President of the United States being able to dictate the behavior and power, or the behavior of anybody. That's not where this should be coming from. Trump is continually tweeting, and I know what he's doing, and I understand why he's doing it, and his motives are pure, don't misunderstand. But I don't think that it is useful or helpful for any employee anywhere to be forced to do something because the government says they must. That scares the hell out of me. This should come from the league, as it looks like Goodell wants it to. The owners should be demanding this, not the president.
And now, of course, the owners are starting to demand it, and Goodell is saying it should happen. But here's the thing. I mean, obviously, if Rush is worried about free speech from the right, then we all have to be worried about it. There's no gainsaying that. And obviously, I feel differently about the NFL. I feel that Trump became the voice of the nation, speaking out against a tremendous industry and the people who are dissatisfied with seeing their athletes, seeing their actors, seeing their movie stars diss the country continually and constantly, that Trump used the bully pulpit to speak up for them. So I didn't have as big a problem with that. I do have a problem with the NBC stuff. It's ridiculous. NBC can run all the stupid news they want, and I still don't think the government should get involved. But Daniel Henninger in the Wall Street Journal ran a piece today saying that nobody would mistake President Trump for James Madison, who helped get the right to free speech into the Constitution. But he says Trump will be remembered as one of the country's foremost practitioners of the right to free speech, and less appreciated is that the Trump administration may go down as a significant defender of the First Amendment when it most needed defending. And then he goes on to talk about how Attorney General Jeff Sessions has announced that that the Justice Department is going to be fighting to keep free speech free on college campuses. They've already filed an amicus brief where the Justice Department Justice Department joins the fight against Georgia Gwinnett College, which created free speech zones or public forum areas requiring a college-approved reservation to have free speech. Recent Brookings survey, Henninger goes on to say, shows that current college students, only 39% of current college students think that hate speech is constitutionally protected. So the left, obviously I will not be lectured by the left on what free speech is and who is defending it, because they have done everything they can to erode our free speech rights. Trump goes off, he says dumb things. Sometimes he just says dumb things. This thing about NBC is one of them. But I do feel that Donald Trump, our president, also has a right to free speech, and he has done nothing to hamper the free speech of the NFL except express his opinion. I think he has the right to do that. I hate to disagree with Trump because he is 98.5% correct most of the time, and I'm only 100% correct. Oh, wait. All right, let's